What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to the Nintendo Open Air Podcast. Hope everyone had a safe and happy Halloween. And it is now the official holiday season, and Nintendo has come out swinging. We've heard phrases like secret sauce and twist being tossed around by President Kimishima and our favorite frontman, Reggie. So, lots of stuff to talk about tonight. But before we get into it, I'm going to introduce my fellow panel members here. We've got Max, of course,
Hello?
and our ever faithful friend Momo.
But ow.
So, Nintendo has released their Q2 financial results, and it looks like Switch sales, of course, the forecast has been increased, as well as the software sales. And I thought this stat was really interesting. From their year-to-year increase was 173.4%. And of course, I said that's thanks to the success of the Switch.
Yeah. It's last year at this time, about this time, we were just kind of seeing the Switch like teaser trailer, basically, or whatever, like the reveal trailer. So there wasn't a lot happening on 3DS, and there was absolutely nothing happening on Wii U. So it would make sense that they've seen a big uptick in business since they finally have something interesting again. Um, I was looking at the numbers. The one that stuck out to me was the lifetime or life to date hardware sales right now is like 7.6 million units. So they've already hit half of what the Wii U did in 8 months. And I think were they projecting like 14 million by like next March or something. So
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So they're probably, I would assume that they're going to have a strong holiday season.
Yeah, they
Um,
seem to be banking on it.
They need to be. I mean, that's what's interesting too, is if you look at their like sales projections and stuff, like this they did there was a chart I saw where they were showing like Wii sales lifetime and Wii U sales lifetime, and it's like during the first however many months, and it's tracking better than the Wii U and just a little bit underneath the Wii, but those also all launched in November or whatever holiday season. So this has had that March to kind of grow up to this. So then the holidays when stuff really sells like gangbusters. So this is, I think, what their plan was to get a good jump on the year by kind of doing the soft launch in March and then have their big holiday thing. So they could at least surpass the Wii U. All said, that's not doing a whole lot,
No.
but a year's time, they're back on track with something, and it seems like the developers are there too this time.
I mean, last year we were talking about, is Nintendo going to be around? Or are they going to continue
Yeah,
to be, a game
Yeah.
company? So it's definitely nice to go from worrying about their existence to worrying about how well they'll do in the holidays.
yeah. Well, I remember like with the Wii U, like I was very sure when Super Mario 3D World came out, I was like, this is it. This is the shot in the arm they need. They're gonna have a great holiday. And it didn't happen, and I was like, I don't know what happened. It's like they've got their big Mario game. It's a good game, like, and it just didn't happen. So we'll see. It's nice that we're going into a holiday not saying like, can Odyssey save the Switch?
Yeah, it's a
It's
big
like
one.
right now, the Switch is in a position where it doesn't really need to be saved yet.
True.
Give them time.
It's,
We'll see what next year brings. But I think they're been doing a good job of pacing themselves. At least it's not like they're not they're not putting all their they're holding some of their software back. There's still tons of Wii U stuff that they can announce next year to come out on Switch. Um,
that's right.
they've still got their whole back catalog that takes almost nothing to develop because it's already been developed for Wii U and just didn't sell. Although I'm starting to think we're probably not going to get Pikmin 3, but maybe that's the one we haven't really heard of. They had said that Pikmin 4 was like almost completing development like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it just kind of
We
fell off
haven't
the
heard
radar.
anything on that. So, but I mean, there's so many good games. Like when I think of like the Wii U, like they could do Super Mario 3D World. Um, you know, wouldn't be too hard to put on the Switch, and then Tropical Freeze seems perfect. I don't know if we're gonna get Pikmin or not. I would love to see some remastered stuff too, like if they did like a Pikmin trilogy or something.
That would be really nice. Yeah.
I know we were talking before we started tonight that I like to look through the charts and stuff on the 3DS and Switch and whatever, and like so many of Nintendo's best sellers on the, especially on the 3DS. I forget what my final count was, but like 11 out of the top 20 are all virtual console basically.
That's right.
So um,
Older
Nintendo's the
virtual
one.
console.
Yeah, Nintendo's the one system that people will beg to release some old game that they've already bought a couple times, which works out in their favor. It's like they don't really do HD remasters very often. I guess they did Wind Waker, um, and I don't know. I guess Mario Kart Deluxe doesn't really count.
Talking about older uh, virtual console releases, I noticed one person kind of cornered Kimishima and was asking him, when are we going to get a virtual console on the Switch? And he basically responded, we're providing all of our classic backlog content through the Super NES Mini and NES Mini that have been released. And, you can play so many games on the console, and that's how we're selling them. So, I don't know. I guess that was a little disheartening because you're hoping to say we're working on a virtual console instead of saying we're giving you games.
Yeah, I was kind of afraid when they were doing those at first, when they first put out the NES and the SNES classics, that they were going to kind of replace the virtual console with these plug and play things, but it's a dumb idea for them to do just because there's so much money, which we all know that Nintendo doesn't like money.
That's
True.
true.
But they probably sell a lot more on virtual console. And there's a lot of people that'll pick up one game but won't necessarily um, pick up like one of the many consoles. Although they're nice and fun to have, I hope they don't end up being an actual replacement because that'll suck, especially if you can't get them.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
they've made them available, sort of.
I think the numbers for the Super NES Mini was something like 17 million had been shipped or something like that or made. It was a huge number.
I thought it was like two.
Maybe it was two. I think I'm crossing my numbers up there. Maybe it was like 2 million shipped. But it
But
was still
it's still better than what they did with the NES Classic.
yeah, it's better.
So,
But I'm thinking about all those NES games that are. I mean, we may get a reprint, but
we are. They've already announced that they're going to do another run of the NES Classic next summer.
Yeah, next summer.
Because they can't do it any faster than next summer.
that's true.
They wouldn't want to cannibalize their sales of the SNES by having the NES on the shelf too. It'd be nice to see that just become a perennial thing where it's like you can go to a Toys R Us right now and there's an Atari Flashback and the Sega Genesis, you know, style console. Like I don't know why they couldn't just make that a thing that's always on the shelves for people who want it. Like it seems like that's something that would always sell.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why they don't want it. Why they don't
We've
want to
got
sell them.
limited resources. That's what they say. We've got limited resources. We have to decide what we're gonna produce and what we're not gonna produce, and we just can't make all these. I don't know. I guess it's been better. I think for the SNES Classic. Didn't you see one, Jason, out in the wild?
I have. I have once seen them in the store, so
No.
that's
I haven't
certainly.
gotten out much, but I haven't seen them anytime I've been out. I've seen plenty of Switches though, and plenty of 2DSs.
Yeah, I've seen Switches around.
They seem to have solved that problem at least for now.
I uh, I saw that they had hardware sales for the 3DS listed as 2.86 million units or two, but I don't know if they. I guess the 2DS and stuff's probably all bundled in there. Um, I would love to see what a failure the 2DS XL is. Like, I wonder if they're actually selling those. To me, that the fact that it's only $50 cheaper um,
Yeah.
puts it in a tough spot. Like for me, I'd just be like, or I could just bump it up that extra 50 and get actual 3D, the
Yeah.
emphasized 3D. Sadly, um,
Yeah.
other than like we said with Metroid was that way, but there's a lot of games. It's like with the Wii U. Like at a certain point, they just kind of were like, we don't care as much about the second screen. And I feel like they're finally getting to that point with the 3DS where they're like, we don't really care about the 3D
Well, I think they're
because
definitely getting into sunsetting it. I mean,
yeah,
if you look at
and it's hard to push a 2DS
yeah,
and be like, look at this amazing 3D that we've got.
it's true.
So there's, but yeah, they're slowly starting to close up the 3DS. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go a few more years now. Like the more I think about it, the fact that they keep pumping out these 2DSs, I think they're just going to kind of keep it around as long as they can. I think Kimishima said something about that too. That now they kind of consider the 3DS to be like an entry level system for Nintendo.
It's
Yes, and the
interesting.
2DS. Yeah, to kind of get in, and then once you've got your foot in the door, you can buy a Switch and upgrade. I guess.
But
I don't know.
still,
It was a great system.
it is a great system. Ton of great games on there. But I was just thinking about the games that they're promoting as upcoming. There's only like five. Of course, one of them is the Pokemon game, but there's some others that I think are much less popular. It just seems like it's not a whole lot of hope beyond this year for it, and that could
Yeah,
change,
I mean,
of course.
there's not a lot of like must-have games, and it's weird to put Pokemon into that category.
Yes,
But like I know we've discussed before. It seems like there's just been a real lukewarm kind of response. Like I don't know if people are just tired of buying two copies of every Pokemon game every year, or if it's just that this isn't doing anything particularly interesting.
I think that's a
Like
lot
I
of
feel,
is what's kind of nuked my interest in buying Pokemon games. Is they come out so quickly. You don't
Yeah.
really want to invest in for example, Sun and Moon. You don't want to invest too much time in there because next year you've got the
next
sequels
year,
coming
right?
out, and then you've pretty much wasted your time.
Yeah, it's like Madden games now. They're just every year there's a new Pokemon, and I
Yeah.
don't know if it was always like that. I mean, I know that they've always sold really well, but I have a feeling that these are going to be kind of the lowest selling Pokemon games in quite some time because the hype level seems to be pretty low for everyone that I've talked to on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Oh, if it was
Although I
on
feel like,
display,
yeah, I feel like a Switch title. I don't even know if
I think
Ultras would do that well. But yeah, and the Switch might be a different demographic too. There might be plenty of people out there with a Switch that don't have a 3DS.
yeah, that played Pokemon Go and what are the games like?
Right. Or used to play them on Game Boy.
That's right.
Sorry, Jason.
I was just I was just going to say I think they're really talking about Pokemon on Switch. I think they've kind of shot themselves in the foot because I think people had to hype level up, that would be announced at E3. They would get more news on it, and then, nothing really. And I think people are like, I don't really want another 3DS game. And I know there's the possibility of a Switch game coming.
But there is a Pokemon game on Switch. There's Pokken Tournament.
Oh, that's true.
There's a demo in the eShop right now, which
And
I think that does okay. I think in Japan, but um, I don't think it's done. I know it's got there is an audience of fighter fans that like that game, and I think it's had some competitive play, but I don't think it went over as well as they expected it to go over.
I don't think it certainly had the success that the reboot of Mario Kart 8 had.
No. Yeah, that was another crazy one when they were talking about like their sales I guess well we know that Zelda's obviously doing fine. Um, but it seemed like Mario Kart 8 was right up there, like along the same lines with as far as numbers wise, like it's almost caught up to Breath of the Wild. I think it's just a little bit back.
Yeah.
So
Way ahead of
that's
Splatoon 2, which was amazing to me.
yeah, which I mean, it's still only like 1 million, but I mean, those are definitely all multi-million sellers now. Um, and Mario Kart 8 did have a little bit of a jump too, because it came out before. There's still time for Splatoon to catch up,
That's true.
but and especially with when Christmas hits, I'm expecting to be a big influx of new adopters that are going to buy these things. Unfortunately, ARMS is probably just going to fall by the wayside. But
I
this
noticed
would be a good time for them to get those demos up.
I noticed another game that was also mentioned, and that was 1-2 Switch, when it was kind of tossing out numbers for game selling, and it's like, I feel bad for anyone at Christmas buying that and opening it under the
Yeah,
tree.
I think I think it's one that did surpass the 1 million mark.
Yeah,
But boy, I sure have never heard anyone really even mention that game. I don't even hear people trashing it as much anymore. I just don't. It doesn't come up. Neither does ARMS really.
no,
Neither does Bomberman. Like a lot of those launch titles have kind of gone by the wayside now.
but
I don't hear people. I don't hear any hype on even those games.
that's right. Seems like those launch titles that everybody is debating over. Do I want to get this? Do I want to get that? It just kind of most of them have just disappeared. I don't know
Yeah,
if I don't know if this new release of Snipper Clips will give it the new life or not, but possibly.
I I think it's gonna. I almost think it's gonna kill the game. I really think they should have done whatever they had to do to keep it at that $20 price point.
Yeah,
Like it would have been awesome if they kept it at 20 and then made this like, a free DLC because I'm sure they had to have made a ton of money off that game.
yeah,
Or even if they wanted to do this as a separate DLC that you pick up, like still make the original game available for 20 and then if you want more you can pay the extra 10. But I think just rebranding it, just like sometimes that works. Like with Shovel Knight, I feel like it worked that they were able to make it into Shovel Knight Treasure Trove and change the price on it. Like I think that worked fine. But with Snipper Clips, I think people bought it because it was there and it was $20.
right.
And no and it looks cute and everything, but I think when you look at it, you're like, I'm not super interested, but it is only $20. And the demo is fun. The demo speaks for itself. Like um, the $30, I feel like that's a price point that's going to scare people away from it, and it's just going to go away, which is sad
If you're
because
a
it's a good
holiday
game.
if you're a holiday shopper and you're like shopping for a child, and it's like, okay, I've got a Switch, and maybe they've said they've wanted Mario or Zelda, but then you think you want to get a little something else, and it's like, oh, this game's $20. That's a good little stocking
Yeah.
stuffer or a little something extra. So,
But even more bizarre to me, when I went to like Best Buy, they had like the big display that has all the prepaid like game cards, and
yeah,
it's got like all the virtual console. One of those is for Snipper Clips, and it's 19.99 Snipper Clips.
that's really
So
unusual.
I'm like, so it's coming into the holiday. They're sort of actively promoting Snipper Clips with the old, the picture of the what's now the old version, the current version, and a bunch of unsuspecting consumers are gonna find out like, oh, if I had just waited, now they've added a bunch more content. I mean, I guess they can get in on that too. And I guess
Yeah.
the physical version is going to be, there's a physical version coming. I don't know, maybe $30 is an okay price point for some stuff. Like I feel like Bomberman would be fine at a $30 price point. Um, some of those lesser games, but I think you need games at something that's a cutesy game like that. I feel like at $20 is just right for it. But we know that we know that Breath of the Wild, let's see, 4 million. Mario Kart's over 4 million. Splatoon's almost at 4 million. Um, that's. I wonder what Mario Kart 8 did on Wii U. I guess everybody that bought a Wii U bought Mario Kart.
Something close to it. I
So
think, yeah.
I think I was looking at it, I tried to find that earlier. But yeah, I think they're doing strong. I'm still waiting to see numbers on Metroid. I want to know how it did. I don't know if they're gonna say. Um, but yeah, they're expecting to sell to basically surpass the Wii U or in the first year software. The eShop seems to be doing pretty good for what a horror that is to look at.
They're still selling the
I'm just
game somehow.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think people know, the cream kind of rises to the top, so people know what the good games are. I was really surprised when I was looking at the best sellers right now, like Odyssey's in first place, which obviously, um, and then Stardew Valley's been holding on to that second spot. It seems like for since it came out. See, that's a game that's really well priced at 14.99.
Yeah.
Being a game that people have heard of, like that's a comfortable price to pick up. But I was really surprised that Fire Emblem Warriors is in the third spot.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially
I
being
apparently
released.
under.
I was
Okay.
supposed to say being released so close to Odyssey as well.
Yeah, but I must have underestimated the public love for the Warriors games. Like when it got announced, I was just like, they already did this with Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
Like it felt to me like it was just kind of a reskinned version of that, but maybe it's not. There seems to be good hype on it. Of course, none of us have put any time into it, and I don't think of interestingly enough of the panel tonight. We don't really have any time into Odyssey either,
No,
which is a shame for a Nintendo podcast.
that is true. I think out of all of our regular panel, I think maybe 2 people have bought Odyssey so far. I'm thinking right.
Yeah, I think Eric and Z picked it up.
That's right. I don't think either have played it much either, which is kind of strange. Of course, I mean Z is understandable, but
No, I mean I've noticed there's tons of people that have beat it already, so it must be a relatively bite-sized thing. I mean, for as big and robust as of an experience it is, um, it's not a Breath of the Wild, like where it seems
Yeah.
like that game just kind of went on and on and on. But I guess Mario games usually aren't anyway. I don't know if 64, like as far as how big that was or how long that took to get through, but it is. I mean, it's like anything else where you can go through it and play the game and beat the game and have fun, or you can go on the collectathon, which I'm kind of getting sick of with with the Switch generation of 800 or 900 Koroks, 800 or 900 moons. Like
yes.
Yeah.
it's it's a little excessive. Like
And
100 is a nice number for me. That sounds like a lot still,
Uh,
but 800 sounds like torture.
sounds like busy work they give you in school.
Yeah, like in Breath of the Wild, as soon as I heard the number, I
Hmm.
didn't care. And even if at the end of that game they gave you like an unbreakable master sword if you got all the Korok seeds, I
Uh-huh.
still don't think it would be enough for me to go after it.
in that aspect, they're really kind of similar. You could really, when you knew what you were doing, you could blow through Breath of the Wild pretty quickly. And apparently, the same is
Yeah.
true with Mario. So after you've beat the game, and it's like, oh yeah, there's collectibles. To me, that only goes so far, especially when there's such an unobtainable amount.
Yeah, I guess the question is really are collectibles are
Yeah.
they really replayability
Yeah.
or are they just like monotonous
Yes. Uh,
like to me that's too many, I think, but um I'm sure there's a few hardcores out there that'll be like, "Oh, it's not enough. Give me 3,000." Um yeah, I wouldn't mind like maybe checking it out for a little bit. I still haven't seen anything that makes me want to buy it, but I mean, I'm sure it's a fun game. It's gotten a lot of really good reviews. It's already sold, what, 2 million? Something like that.
Yeah. Was it like in 3 days?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, you look at something like Breath of the Wild has sold 4.7 million. He's almost at half of that.
Yeah. That's
So,
been a milestone.
so it's doing
Yeah,
good.
no,
Like, so we're coming into the right season.
yeah.
I
I
expect.
still want to know what next year's got in store.
Yeah, we definitely got some teases on that. I know that some of the things that were said was Kimishima says there will be more ways to have fun next year and new experiences on the Switch. And Reggie said in a Forbes interview that talking about the new online service will have a twist.
A
So as to what those
Nintendo-like
kind of things,
twist, yeah.
what that could be.
Yeah. Well, that's scary to when Reggie says stuff like it's going to have a Nintendo twist, because I think he said in that article, like, we don't do things the way everybody else does things.
Right.
It's like, well, everybody else has an online system that works. So maybe you should start with that and then do whatever your little weird Nintendo twist is. Um, like I have no idea what he's talking about, although I I'm sort of starting to suspect, which I could be completely wrong, that they might tack on this because they mentioned this virtual console type thing that might be like a Netflix style subscription. Like I could almost see them tacking that on as an extra, depending on how big it is. Like that you might pay a certain amount just for the basic online, and that might be your $20 a year. And then if you also want access to the virtual, maybe that's like another subscription. This is just my speculation based on nothing. I could see that. Although, if you also look at any of the systems like the Wii and the Wii U that have had the virtual console and even the 3DS, like it takes them forever for some reason to build a library, and it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at this point, they should have been able to launch the Switch and been like, and also here's 50 virtual console games. Like even if they were just Nintendo first party titles.
I mean, they've done that with Neo Geo. I mean, there's a boatload of those
Yeah,
things.
I mean, the Neo Geo Virtual Console is almost better than like the Wii U's Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Neo Geo fan, you're in hog heaven with a Switch. Like, I'm sure somewhere out there on the internet is a Neo Geo forum where they're like, "Have you got a Switch yet? Oh, dude,
Reliving the childhood dream there.
amazing!" like, yeah, that's been real well served. And I know I'd mentioned a little bit earlier tonight too that I'm very surprised that with as well as they've been able to kick out the Neo Geos, Nintendo has not even really announced anything else for their arcade classics. Like as far as when we're getting another one, like I sort of expected it to be weekly or monthly or something. Looks like it might be closer to yearly. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, I figured it would be like, boom, this one's coming out, and then here's the release date for the next one, or here's what the next one's going to be.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be too hard to get something like that right and just put it out since it's a pre-existing software. Like it's not like you're porting Doom to the Switch.
Right.
Mario Brothers and Punch Out
And
and Balloon Fight.
you would think this would be a regular feature, and it would be, have it set up to where you
Yeah,
can look forward to it, and unveil it with some, keep it a mystery, and then unveil it and get some attention that way on it. But I
right.
don't
Well,
know.
it's definitely being treated different than Virtual Console. Like Virtual Console, when it starts up, it's like every week. There's a new what's coming to VC this week, what's coming next week. Like it's been a pretty regular stream, so I guess maybe that's my mistake in thinking that this was a similar thing, that they were just gonna pump these out. I mean, there's not a ton of them, but you know, maybe they're only going to be every 3 months or so, or maybe they just want to let that Mario Brothers sell because it kind of sickens me to see that it's a bestseller. Like
Yeah. I,
there's not much fun to be had with that
I just kind of wonder, what kind of person is seeing this and saying, like, man, I gotta have this,
game. More, well, like I say, it's got to be mistaken identity. They're like Super Mario Brothers, and then they and they get it, and they're like, oh, it's that one.
Yeah.
I hate this one, or whatever. Which I get. I mean, you could have got that on the NES Classic as well, and I'm pretty sure that game's available on 3DS and Wii U as well in their Virtual Console. Although it's not the pixel perfect arcade version, where the turtles have amazing animations or whatever. What they
Is
did
that
in their
improved
commercial.
game? Yeah.
Yeah, like um, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're committed to waiting until next year to say anything. I just
Yeah.
wonder. It's surprising we haven't had any leaks. There's no speculation. There's no hints. There's no teases, other than a Nintendo-like twist. And it's like I would prefer an online system with no twist, please.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. Maybe they've got a really great idea, and I'm just not giving them credit. But to me, an online service basically should just be delivering me online service. Maybe whipping me some free games every now and then. I know they had mentioned the awesome versus balloon fight in Dr. Mario, and was it Super Mario 3?
I think so.
That they were going to have online multiplayer, which should be lackluster. It's kind of scary to me that they've only announced those three as a thing, which I know I kind of view those as separate from Virtual Console because they're like upgraded with added features. So I sure hope that there's still a Virtual Console of the unaltered games that remains by its side, and that they're not really replacing it with these classic systems.
How did how did they handle it with 3D classics on the 3DS? Were any of those games released
I mean, yeah,
separately?
I think those are all available separately as well, like Excite Bike and Kirby. I think they have the non 3D versions for like $2 less. Although those were really just, I mean, I guess they added the 3D, but these other ones, they're, adding, well, I don't even know if they're really adding anything. I guess they're just making it so that you can play online instead of local, which is neat. I'm wondering if it'll be the original online content, like the original multiplayer experience. Because, like I said, I think if it's Mario Brothers 3, where your
Yes.
friend is watching you play, and then you're watching them play, I don't know. I don't know how compelling that's going to be. I mean, I guess that could be fun for a Twitch stream where you can just kind of talk crap at one another, um, or criticize your friend while he plays. But I don't think people are going to be like, "Oh, this is." I mean, I don't know that anyone ever loved Mario 3 for its multiplayer.
That's kind of the thing you had to do as a kid when there was more than one person wanting to play, and it's like, die already, I want to play.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
the thing. I mean, I think I even remember some of those games being like, um, you're like, "Oh, this has a two-player mode," and they're like, not really. It's just like I play then you play," and you're like, "Oh, like that was the worst experience."
yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Oh, I wanted to play together." So, although I don't really want to play Mario 3 together with anybody either. I don't want to cooperatively do it. Um,
Although
but
I
Super
thought
Mario World was fun, or 3D World rather.
talking about playing Mario 3 as a multiplayer game, the only way I could see that it would be fun is thinking about the old classic movie, The Wizard, where they're playing at the end and you're like, you kind of have like a
A timer.
competition. Yeah, but who
Yeah,
brothers who has the highest score. But I don't know. To me, they haven't said anything to hint at that. But
yeah. I mean, why not do the Nintendo World Championship cartridge and
right,
have something like that where you can compete with your friends in those things?
it
Um,
would. Hmm. Otherwise, it's going to be something you'll probably, get in touch with a buddy and say, "Hey, let's play this." And it's like, "Okay, we've played that," and then never use it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'll play it for the single player. People will play that, but I also wonder, like, well, I guess those are going to be free, right? Those are going to be included in this thing, we're guessing. So I guess you won't have to pay for it. Because I was wondering if it would be something where, normally they would probably charge more for that because they've added amazing features.
And if
Um,
I'm not mistaken, didn't Reggie say that because of the outcry of fans that they're rethinking that whole position on the virtual console?
yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that it's just going to be like a subscription thing. And I think he had mentioned, I mean, he might have said that, like that it was, because it seems like he said those were going to be included in the online thing. Although I also am not looking forward to waiting however long it's going to be even between those three crappy games. Like,
Right.
because they've announced those three, but they might just drip feed those to you like they do everything else, which, I understand that they've got a kind of a limited amount of content, so they can't just deliver everything all at once. Although,
Well, they want to, keep people in suspense a little bit, build a little fanfare every time. And, like, for example, what if they released all three of the Super Mario Brothers at once? You're probably just going to pick out your favorite, but if they release the first one and then a month later the second one or something, people might be more inclined to pick them up as they
yeah,
go.
well, if they're selling them to you, sure.
Right.
Um,
But for, yeah,
but
if they're free.
also, if they were just to drop 50 games and just be like, boom, here's 50 games. Like, people know the games that they like and know the games that they want to play. And if it's in a subscription and you're not selling them to us individually, they should just provide us those games to play. And I can just look through this list and figure out which one I want to play right now. Because eventually that's what it'll end up being.
Basically making an arcade rather
Yeah.
than.
Yeah. Yeah. Just make it a free to play thing, which I'm hoping that that's what they do. That they're smart enough to do something like that. But the Switch stuff, the twist scares me of whatever they're gonna do. I would probably pay though. I mean, if they had a virtual console that was a subscription thing, I don't know. How do you guys feel? How would you feel about not being able to own your favorite games? Like, you couldn't necessarily buy them outright and have them forever. Like, if your subscription expires, you just lose the ability to play those virtual console games.
I would like to be able to buy them.
Yeah, I wonder
Because
if I wonder if they'll do that.
if it's a
If they'll have.
subscription, you figure they're going to rotate games in and out every
Well, I
month.
wonder about that too. I mean, in a perfect world, they would just have everything available and you could just play whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. Um, but it does seem like they're kind of rotating. The fact that they mentioned three games is what's bothersome to me.
Right.
There's like, here's three games, come out one a month. Um, I just looking at all their best sellers, it seems like they do a lot of business on their old content,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
weird for them to shut off that revenue stream because I would think they do quite a bit of business on their virtual stuff.
Well,
I would be interested to see if they make more money off of their virtual stuff than they do off of their current stuff.
one thing I was thinking about, one thing that we complain over and over about is that we, bought Super Mario Brothers 3 on the 3DS, we bought it on the Wii U, and there's no way to, share between the systems. If you've bought it once, you just got to buy it again.
Yeah,
And I think if you're kind of getting a rental of it rather than buying it, I think that's what you're doing. But to a further extent, you never really owned it, so they can take it away. I don't know.
that's true. And technically, even the ones that you buy on your 3DS and your Wii U, they can take away because I think they do have a little clause that says they
Right.
can remove software at any time that you're just buying. You don't own the software, you just own the license to play the software.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. it's going to be a fun one to see how it plays out. It'll be fun to complain about when we see all that they get wrong. Um, but like with like PlayStation and stuff like that, it's like you buy your digital content games and whatever, and just day one when you sign into your PlayStation 4, some of your stuff from your PlayStation 3 is just there. And it's like it's never a smooth transition like that. Like, how great would it have been on day one for Switch that you buy your Switch, you log into your Nintendo account, and just, hey, here's all my stuff.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That's dreamland right there.
Yeah.
I mean, especially stuff like Shovel Knight that was, I recently double dipped on because they had a little eShop sale, and that's kind of one of my fun. Like, I like to play it, but it's also one that I like to show other people. Like, hey, have you heard of this game? This game is really good. It's a cool NES game, but I'm not really. I'm happy to support Yacht Club Games. I think they had a great game. I don't have a big problem with it, but I did already buy it once. It would be nice to just it's me. The accounts are linked. Let me get some of that content, because that happens on these other networks, the PlayStation Network, or
Isn't
obviously with Steam, you've always got your Steam stuff.
isn't that the premise of the Switch? It's no longer your handheld game or your home console game. It's your all-in-one. And shouldn't it be the
Yeah,
same way with our digital content as well?
Yeah.
you would think so. Even stuff like, I mean, there's like World of Goo and Little Inferno, like games that were available on the Wii U, and they're not super expensive games, but we're seeing a lot of games that were already on Wii U. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was in an ecosystem where you could get those. It'll really bother me when you start seeing all this Wii U stuff get ported over.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you go. Here's an opportunity to buy this again. Um, I look forward to a day when they just let you get some stuff that you already paid for once, especially with Virtual Console. Like, I just triple dipped, I guess, on Super Metroid for my 3DS this week as well, just because I said I've got the Samus 3DS. I should probably have Super Metroid on it. I've got all the other Virtual Console Metroids on there. I might as well have the best. But that one is even more bothersome because Wii U and 3DS were the same generation. There's no reason why. If you could have your Wii stuff transfer over and they had like whatever the dollar charge, they should have been able to do that with 3DS. Um, like, I'm not going to pay $8 to get Super Mario World again on my 3DS. So hopefully they figure out what they're doing with their Virtual Console and um, either transfer your stuff or make it free, make it a subscription, do something. Because people will bitch.
Yep.
And I will be one of them.
I think we all will be.
Yeah. Let's be glad that Z's not here right now.
I guess
know that particularly gets him. Sorry.
yeah. Before we move on from the twist, I guess when I read it, I guess I've just become to the point where I'm so, I guess, jaded towards Nintendo that I figure twist means more money in some form or fashion. I'm just picturing,
Yeah.
tiers. You've got your gold tier, your platinum tier, whatever. I'm just thinking, this is how we do it. It's a twist, but it's also going to cost you more money. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I definitely see some way to do that, and I wonder if some serve when it eventually gets Netflix and stuff. Like, will you have to be a subscriber for that? Are they going to do discounts if you've got multiple people in the family that all have a Switch that live at the same household? Like, is that $20 per console? Is there going to be something you can do to all get something?
Yeah, that's a good question. I figure the twist is
Since
going to be something like, well, you can send messages to your friends on the Switch.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
you can do on every
but
other
can't.
console.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they said this is. They said they don't do things like other companies do,
And
and
they
so there's
don't.
going to be a uniquely Nintendo twist. So that would be expected. Um, that's one thing. Like as much as like I get scared for seeing these third parties, as nice as it is to have them. I'm afraid when I see stuff like the NBA 2K where they're microtransactioning you to death. Like that's something Nintendo fans haven't really dealt with. There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of people that are PlayStation and Xbox people that are jumping into the Nintendo ecosystem and like going like, what the hell? I can't even watch Netflix on this thing.
Yeah.
Like we know, and we're owners now too, but we knew ahead of time that there was no Netflix when we bought in. Um, but I'll bet you at Christmas time, there's going to be people who get this thing and they had just, it was a given that Netflix was going to be available.
Yeah.
Or even a
You know,
web
I mean,
browser.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, just kind of basic crap like that that you expect to be on a brand new 2017 $300 console that you're just going to open up and be like, what? Wait, this thing can't even do this? Like, I'm sure there is that demographic out there of people that just take for granted that some things are going to be there and be like, man, Nintendo is really behind the times.
And anybody who just gets a Switch for Christmas with no games,
Yeah.
feel for you. You've got nothing.
You've got a blank screen.
And you can choose whether it's black or white, but that's about it.
Yeah. Hey, and there's you can give yourself a sweet T-Rex with a mustache and Cappy icon now, so there's something.
That's right. You can.
But but yeah, it's pretty bare bones. Um, I'm still hoping for a facelift. I bet you there's like a December 24th or 25th update. I'll keep my fingers crossed.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
But yeah, this is a big month. Uh, we're finally at the month where we're getting Doom and we're getting Skyrim. Rocket League just finally got its date announced,
That's right.
Yeah.
November
the
14th.
14th. So
I have to say,
all the stuff's coming.
I'm rather pleased with Rocket League that that's at a 19.99 price point. I was so afraid it was going
Yeah,
to be $60, and I was like,
yeah. They had said, and I think that really comes from oh god, what's their name? Psionics or the developer for Rocket League. I think said that they wanted to make sure that it was the same price across the board on everything that they do, which cool
That's nice.
developer. I know that like there's like cosmetic upgrades and stuff you can get in their game for the cars, but they are just cosmetic. There's no like enhancement. So every car is pretty much level playing field as far as performance wise. So um, they seem like a cool company. It's kind of amazing how long they've been able to keep Rocket League going as
Yeah,
just kind of a basic game. Like it must be pulling in enough numbers to support the company. Where like some of these companies like Yacht Club with Shovel Knight, I keep wondering like when are we going to see a new game from you guys? Um, which I know they're still finishing out. Their Shovel Knight stuff. There's still one more piece of content to come, but like Rocket League's been out for a while, and I don't know what else that studio's doing if they've got other stuff coming out. Um, there's
that's a good point.
it's good indie stuff. I'm excited for Rocket League. I'll definitely pick that up. Doom, if it was not $60,
Yeah.
that one still hurts a little bit to me.
There's a
Like
lot.
I don't like lower quality. I don't care about frame rates and resolution as much as the fact that it's $20 everywhere else and $60 on Switch. Like that's a hell of a Switch tax.
It is.
And I'm sure it's a fine game. It's very well reviewed. Uh, but yeah, it's like I'm probably the person they would be targeting with Doom, being that I played Doom when it was on PC originally, like graduated from Wolfenstein 3D to Doom. They were remaking or doing a new Doom game. Like I was like, that's cool. And then obviously wasn't going to come to Wii U. So now that I'm getting a chance, like that feels like one that I'm going to pick up when the price gets reasonable. Hopefully Switch games start dropping like all these other console games drop.
Yes.
Where after 6 months and stuff, they just kind of become bargain bin stuff.
Mhm.
Because tech that's never been Nintendo's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I guess some stuff, like I remember picking up, I think I picked up Ninja Gaiden for Wii U for like $8, and I might have picked up Arkham for like 10 or 20. So I guess some of the stuff does drop when it's third party, but Nintendo doesn't drop their price.
I started to say, if it's first party, it's not happening. So
Yeah. Or not until did the Wii U the Wii U Select games, did those just come out last year? I think it felt like really late
yeah,
um,
Yeah.
for what games they had. It'd be nice to see them start doing stuff with the Switch. Like I feel like 1-2 Switch should be $20 now.
yes,
Um, I can understand letting Breath of the Wild go a little bit. They got a big Christmas season coming up, but they should just get some of these games in the $20 wheelhouse instead of the $60 one. I'm sure Breath of the Wild is probably going to see a nice uptick in sales, though. Speaking of
Yeah.
which,
yeah. That's
the other thing November is well known for is Black Friday.
that's right. And we've got a little bit of a sneak peek of what Nintendo is planning, and it's believe it or not, a 2DS bundle, not a 2DS XL, not a 3DS, 2DS bundle with Ocarina of Time 3D, but you won't be
Yeah,
watching it in 3D on that.
yeah. I I wish I could say my prediction was correct, but I did not see that coming. I I was so sure that Black Friday was going to be a $50 2DS, regular 2DS like this one is, but I did not see them going out of their way to produce a beautiful green regular old 2DS. I do like the color on it
Yeah,
with
same here.
Yeah.
Ocarina, but it seems like the price point's the same, so I don't really understand how that's a Black Friday deal. Like, it's not really a deal. I mean, I guess it comes with a different game than the other two 2DSs that are out in different colors with games. Um, whereas last year they had the 3DS for $100. That if you remember that Best Buy one, that regular 2DS or regular 3DS was like the
That's right.
small size. Like that
Oh.
was probably the best ever. And then I guess the other one, which it seems like they're lumping it into their Black Friday, but it doesn't seem like it should be a Black Friday. Which really this one shouldn't either. But there's a new Zelda. Was it
Breath,
Explorers Edition? Breath
yeah,
of the Wild.
Yeah.
Explorers bundle.
Yeah, with a two-sided map and 100-page Explorer's Guide, which it's cool, but I think the price point on that was the same as the regular game.
Yeah,
Um, Perhaps like other things, Nintendo has not figured out that Black Friday is supposed to be about like getting an amazing deal on something. Like, why not just say, "Hey, we've got the Super Mario Odyssey Black Friday special for the same price it always is."
no,
Um,
I don't think there's going to be anybody standing in the cold waiting for one of these,
yeah, other than
Un
scalpers.
unless they're extremely limited edition.
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, although I still don't see a huge market for 2DS scalping. Um, one thing is if you've got a new 3DS or a new 2DS, you're not able to go from new to old. So it's like you can't really transfer your system. Um, so this is really just going to be for brand new adopters, pretty much.
Yep.
Um, and the 2DS has always kind of been thought of to me as like the kiddie system,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Ocarina of Time to be a kiddie game. Like,
No.
I mean, Mario Kart 7 and even to some extent New Super Mario Brothers 2 seem a lot more kid friendly.
Yeah. It make more sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It
But
is
I
good.
guess it's getting to be a time when you can get into the 2DS now if you haven't adopted and you just want to dip your toe in the water, um, and you're a Zelda fan and you like Ocarina, like it's a pretty good deal.
I'm sorry, I just can't get past the game that is included has 3D in the title,
Yeah.
but it's on a 2D only system.
Yeah.
That just dumbfounds me. I mean, there's a ton of Zelda games they could have put on there.
Yeah. Well, and even like Link Between Worlds, like I haven't heard anything about that game, and I don't know why, but it seems like they've stopped caring about that game.
It was insanely popular, and then that no longer exists.
Yeah. I mean, there's always these titles that they continue to talk about and promote. Like Animal Crossing has never gone away since it came out.
That's true.
Um, Mario Kart 7's never really gone away since it came out. Um, to some extent, Super Mario 3D Land has always been like a big one, which I'm kind of surprised they haven't got that bundled into anything yet.
Yeah.
Other than the 3D, I guess. Like they can't. That'd be another fun one to put on. It's
2D.
like I feel like that. Yeah, it's like they're regretting doing 3D now. They've really backed away from 3D in a big bad way, with all their systems being 2D now. That they've de-emphasized it to that point. But yeah, it is funny that they've got. It's like, wait, so what's 3D about this again? It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, if you had a 3DS, but now you've got that game, and when you decide to upgrade to a 3DS, magically you're gaining a feature.
It's true.
You're getting 3D when you upgrade. Because I think that's their master plan is that everyone who gets a 2DS will eventually upgrade when they're ready to a 3DS. Um,
I don't
I
think
still, that's, I'm
there's
sorry.
not enough. I was just going to say there's not enough lifespan for that with a 3DS. I mean,
Not,
maybe it
not
will come.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not like a a 5 or 6 year old that's getting a 2DS this Christmas, and next year or 2 years from now is going to say, I want a 3DS now. We're past that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a nice price point though. Like I said,
Yeah.
for $80 with a pack-in game,
Yeah.
like the 2DS is probably the best thing on the market. Like,
Yeah.
um, the regular 2DS, and I've played it. It's not a bad experience to hold and have one. And if you're uninitiated and you're not into the 3DS now, it's a nice way to get into it. Like I said, I really like the color. They did the yellow or whatever buttons on it.
Yeah. It
Looks
looks
nice
really
with the game.
nice.
It does.
Like I kind of want it, but I don't even like Zelda, and I've already got Ocarina of Time 3D, and I don't play it. Um, but that green though, yeah,
Yeah.
I just want more colors.
We have the same problem. We both love green, but Nintendo very rarely makes a green
Yeah,
console.
but Nintendo is a red and a blue company.
That's true.
It's like when the 3DS came out, it was just you either got blue or you got red. The Joy Cons are blue and red.
Even a lot of times the Zelda stuff is gold, and it's like, why isn't
Yeah,
it green? I wish it was green.
yeah. Like so, they just I don't know. I kind of wonder with Joy-Con though. I wonder if we're still gonna get that big breakout where all of a sudden it's just every color you could imagine, custom colors or something. Because they did that with Wiimotes, where there was just every shade you could imagine and custom character stuff. Like
Right.
Yeah.
we're still in the first year.
And those also hung on the shelves for a long time, especially the later ones.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard if you want to go out and score yourself like a Toad Wiimote at
Yeah.
probably any Best Buy right now.
Or
You know
Walmart.
what? And in classic Nintendo form, they have not made those cheaper.
No.
Like I don't remember what they are, like $40 or something. Like or 30,
Yeah.
40. Like you would
39.
think at this point you should be able to go into a store and buy a Wiimote for like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's almost time to put it into a museum.
Yeah.
But
It's Nintendo.
Nintendo's gonna hang on to that profit margin. They said all these new customers coming in for Christmas. Fun little ecosystem to jump into. Where the price never goes down. That should be their motto. Nintendo.
I really feel bad for parents this Christmas. If you're a parent and your kid is asking for a Switch, and then they say, I've got to have the Pro controller, or I've got to have another set of Joy Cons, you're getting into a
Yeah.
lot of money really quickly.
Well, luckily with this is probably when the Joy-Con thing is going to really pay off because they're like, well, we're getting it, and you can use these as two controllers, so
That's
both of the kids can play. Um, until somebody actually tries to play like that for an extended period of time.
Well, maybe if you have tiny child hands, it'll be okay.
That's true. It might be. I don't know. Like I said, I still don't like the Joy-Con. Like they still feel really cheap to me. I have been trying to make myself play handheld a little bit more in the last week or two, just because um, I want to like it. um, I think the shortness of the sticks too also bothers me. But I'm so used to playing with the Pro controller now that the sticks are larger and longer on that. It's not even. I find I don't really use the D-pad as much as I thought I would. Like I've been playing through Shovel Knight, and even with that, I thought I would use the D-pad the whole time, and I'm still using the stick. Um, but the size of the Joy-Con, I don't know. But a Pro controller should have been packed in, man. That thing's awesome. Just making a home console with Pro controllers, I don't care. But I guess you guys are both handhelders, so
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm outnumbered tonight. And speaking of which,
That's right.
uh,
Among the financial report, we also got some Switch usage by household numbers. And it seems the minority here is definitely those who play only in docked.
that's
It's less than
true.
20%.
I refuse
Wow.
to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
right.
weird that I don't know, remember how they worded it, if it was primarily or how they did it, because it showed like, or around 20% play docked, 30% play handheld, and then
The rest play both.
the remainder plays both, and it's like, well, everybody has played both. Like, but yeah, primarily I'm docked, and I'm surprised to see how many people do play it, especially if you're playing it at home. Like I can understand some things. Like I don't know how you play Splatoon 2 handheld. Like to me it's a different experience in handheld than it is docked. Like it just feels wrong, especially with as much motion controlling as going on. But like Shovel Knight, I would play handheld. I don't have a problem with that. I picked up the controversial RBI baseball, and I've been playing that handheld a little bit. It's not too bad when it works.
I start safe when it isn't frozen.
Yeah, so I did have some. I was wondering. I was really curious because I like the old classic RBI baseball games for NES, especially RBI 3, and I want to like the RBI brand just because they're classic and it's got nothing but really bad reviews. It was on sale for $20 at Best Buy, and then I get my little Gamers Club discount, which basically made it like 17. So I was like, I'm just gonna go and see how bad this is for 17. So I put it in my system. I start playing a game, and immediately I get a screen that says like there's an error in the game, and Nintendo recommends that you report this to the developer. Would you like to do that? Yes or no? And it's like I've never even seen or heard of this screen before on the Switch.
Me either.
Like it's actually got a yes or no, and I'm like, yes, I guess so. Um, and then I'm like, all right, I'll just play another game. So I played another game, and then it didn't necessarily freeze, but kind of. Like it got to a point where one of the baseball players had the ball in his hand, and he wouldn't throw it, and he wouldn't move, but it kind of had the idle animation of him. It's not really frozen. He just stopped moving and didn't do anything, and you can't press start or anything to quit, so you're just kind of there. So I basically had to close out of the game and restart it. And I probably had about 4 or 5 of those like right in a row that happened, and then for some reason I haven't had it since, and I've played quite a few games with no issues since. So I don't understand it. I know they just recently patched the game that they said was going to address all those issues. So maybe I had a dirty cart. Like I don't know. Um, but I will say when the game works, it's it's fine. Like it's a good enough game. It's not like a fully featured baseball game with all there's no like animations and crazy voiceover and stuff like that. But if you've played RBI for the NES, it's basically RBI for the NES, just kind of reskinned a little bit. Well, maybe not modern day. It's reskinned to about 2003 graphics, but
Slightly
it's
modernized.
fine. Yeah, it's slightly. It's it's fine. It's a basic baseball game, which is what I wanted it to be. So, um, I can say if you find it in a bargain bin somewhere, um, pick it up. I give it a solid 5-ish.
You have to give it at least a 5 because you get
Yeah,
that incredible patch.
that's true. It did. It also I bought the physical version of it, um, which came with an RBI baseball patch that I can stick to a hat or a coat and wear with pride. Um, yeah, it's not
I'm a
horrible.
You can wear it and say I'm a slightly modern gamer.
That's true. I mean, if it wasn't for the crashes and stuff, I might even bump it up to a 7. Um, but um, I think when it launched, it was so broken that's probably why. Which is, I mean, shame on developers for releasing broken crap games like that. They deserve what they get, but it's really too bad that people review these games when they're brand new because when you've got that many problems, it's kind of hard to get a good jump start when your Metacritic's like 2 stars.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
I would say it's dead in the water for Switch, but it's worked better since I first got it. But um, oh my lord, I don't even remember how I got off on this RBI tangent. Um, but I know we were talking about something else that was
We
on
were,
topic.
we were talking about playing in handheld mode, or
Right.
we were
Which,
experimenting with it.
yeah, yep. And I played RBI in handheld, so yeah, it's not bad. I was surprised to see so many people play it in handheld. I mean, it's okay.
That's the way to play,
Whatever.
right, Max?
You guys seem to like it.
Yep.
uh,
See, we've got a
I,
good representation
yeah,
right here.
that's true. That's true. Um, I'm gonna do my own poll, see what my numbers pull up. But yeah, they seem to be trending. Seems to be trending about that way, which I don't mind. I mean, as long as people are playing it, that's good. Um, I still just haven't gotten used to playing it handheld as much, and because I've gotten so used to the Pro controller now, when I play with the Joy-Con, it feels wrong. Um, but it's nice to have it to be able to just take it somewhere. And I also don't live in a place where I'm sharing a TV, uh, or anything like that, uh, where I have to worry about that. Although Jason, I don't know what your deal is. You just don't even care.
I'm just hardcore that way, man.
I know. Have you had that thing docked?
Only to charge it.
But
I've
I mean,
never had it on a TV, no.
you never had it on a TV. That's even what's crazier to me. And I know we've got another friend who's like that. That said she hasn't even ever like hooked her dock up to a TV.
I haven't
Like
either.
No, I haven't.
she didn't
Mine's
even.
not hooked up. No. Just
Yeah,
to the
that's
charger.
crazy. Like,
Eventually,
I would
just
figure you'd want to try both modes. It's a hybrid system. So you guys are actually in the minority of people who haven't played it in both modes. Like, you're just strictly handheld.
that's right.
Yep.
We played it in
Yeah,
handheld, and we didn't see any need to go further. So I'm like,
maybe. Yeah, I guess so. This is your new 3DS replacement. This
that's
is your
right.
new handheld. Um, they also, I don't think too surprisingly, um, showed that the overwhelming majority of users are male. Um, I think it said only
89%.
11%, yeah, were female. Um, and then everybody's like, I think it said the primary one were like age 25 to 35, somewhere around there. Um, which I don't think is a big surprise, but um, I thought it was
I
interesting.
wonder. It says like per household. Does that mean that if there's a couple there, they both play it, but the guy's answering the poll?
Well,
Yeah, well, that could be too.
the way I understand it, it's the information was gathered by Nintendo from the system. So I don't know how it
Maybe
determines gender, though.
Yeah.
That's the way I understood the article. But I mean, maybe.
if you've got. I mean, I thought it was something that they actually did a poll on. Like, I can't remember if I took one when the Switch first came out. If I got an email or took some sort of poll. Uh,
And it might be worked into, like I've got one for Golf Story. It's like, how are you enjoying your game? And there's a few general Switch questions there.
I think both of you guys have gotten stuff. I haven't bought anything that I've gotten any kind of surveys on yet. Um, for those sweet Nintendo points.
That's right.
Would they give you like 100 of those?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know. Is
There's
it
a lot of.
100? It isn't much.
Yeah, I recently also saw the My Nintendo page was talking about how they've got these mall events going, which it's always the same malls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't you guys spread it around a little bit? It's always the same malls, which are nowhere near me. But
Yeah.
this time,
Yeah.
if you check in with your My Nintendo whatever IR code, you get a card that is redeemable for points, and it's like there's 100 points, 200 points, like all the way up to like 500 platinum points. I'm like, you can't just give everybody 500 points. You got to make it like a random lottery thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like, they're really overvaluing these platinum points.
And I went to the Best Buy Mario Odyssey demo event, I guess that's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And they make you play the game. Like they had goodies there, which was, just
yeah,
stuff they given away. I had to wait an hour to play the game, which I've already been to Target where there was no line and just played the whole demo. But I had
right.
to wait. So I bet at these mall events, I bet you have to play all of the demos all the way
Oh
through.
yeah. Well, I remember Z
It's
was
just
talking about when he went to one this summer, like
that's
he was
right.
going to try to score that sweet metal sports bottle or whatever it was. And it was like a punch card of like 6 games that they were demoing, and it was a couple hours in line for each one, and you had to have a punch that you had played all the games before you could get your prize, which I guess makes sense because the whole idea is that they're marketing this crap to you. So
Yeah.
it's like you were just going to show up and try to get a free metal bottle, but now that you've played all these games, you're going to go buy them all. Is how it's supposed to work in their mind, but just by the fact that you're checking in with a My Nintendo thing should probably tell them that you're a fan. Just give you a damn bottle. That's
Yeah.
like some of them they had these like little My Nintendo pins that they were giving away. So now that's already been downgraded to just some more platinum points. Few of us are going to be motivated to go to a mall to get platinum points.
I don't know if it
So
was
we
in
can
a
get the
mall, across town. I don't know that I would stand in a line very long to get platinum points.
yeah, yeah, especially for hours. But I guess it says something that the lines are. I mean, just at your local Best Buy, lines are an hour long.
But I mean, I say an hour long. The demo was 10 minutes, and there was mostly two people together, so there
Like there
wasn't
were
that
six
many.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There
That's
was
true.
6 people in front of me, and there was probably
Yeah.
about 4 or 5 behind me. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, it's something.
It's
That's probably worth them paying a representative to stand there all day. Really get the message out to the people.
that's right.
um, I think they could probably do more by just having one of those floppy windsock guys with a Nintendo shirt on.
It's
Super
possible.
Mario Odyssey shirt.
So,
Speaking of which, I will keep this very brief. But I did notice in Splatoon 2 they've recently released Blackberry Skate Park,
Black Belly.
and it's
Black
Black
Belly.
Belly. That's sorry. What did I say? Blackberry.
Yeah.
Black Belly. It's got windsock guys in it, which I can't remember if those were in the first game or not. I think they might have been, but I just noticed it the other day in Splatoon 2. Like
What
those guys are awesome.
What's your impression of it? Have you played it too, Max, as
I,
well?
Yeah, I don't like it. I didn't like it in the first one very much.
I
See,
like
that
it.
was always one of my favorites. I like it.
I don't like it in the second one. I don't like the little walls they've put up. I've only played it in turf, but
Yeah, yeah, as have I. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different. It isn't. It's weird that they always change everything. Um, it
it
was in
doesn't
the
have the
first
flow.
game that they changed one of the main levels, but I feel like they always do that. Like they look at their levels and are like, oh, it should be better this way. Or I'm sure they're just stopping exploits that some people do, but it's pretty much the kind of thing where everybody goes for the middle and tries to control the middle zone, like
Right.
like so many of them. Um, just like the Art Academy level. Um, but
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
Windsock
very
guy.
similar.
Yeah, I
So
thought it was all right.
What do you think, Jason?
I don't like it as much. I haven't played it a lot, but just the little changes to it. I thought the first one had a good flow to it, and maybe I would get used to this, but it
Yeah.
wasn't that great. It's my least favorite of all the stages, I think.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah, I like it. I thought it was just as good. It's there is something weird that other players who are new to the game won't have of just recognizing that it's a different layout.
That's true.
Um, although few people probably know those stages as well as we do because we played the crap out of that game.
Yep.
Um,
Months and months and months.
so it's hard to say how much of that is just the fact that they've changed that stuff, but I think it's fine. Like
I'll get over it.
it's I recognize it as what it is, but yeah, the more you play it, the more you like it. Sorry, I got off on a topic, but I just had to mention the awesome windsock guy.
So we were talking about my Nintendo, and I know there's a couple of bits of more news there.
Oh
One
yeah.
of it is we've got some more great rewards here in North America. Sonic
Hmm.
mm,
Yeah.
for
Um,
a bunch of gold coins.
yeah, that's gotten out of hand now. Like, um, I don't remember which one it was, Fire and Ice or Sonic Boom. One of these games, they want 120 gold coins. $120, and I don't. Was it a 50% discount? Maybe.
Yeah, they were all 350. I think the others were like
Yeah,
110.
but like $120 gets you 50% off of a Sonic game, and I had stumbled across because I was like, I'm pretty sure these were discounted on the Wii U um, before, and when I looked it up, it's like last summer, some of these games just Sega was just having a sale, and some of them were discounted deeper than 50%,
Yep.
and you didn't have to spend $120 to do it.
Yeah.
Um, that said, I did spend 100, I think, platinum points or something to get 50% off of Sonic 2, which I still have not downloaded, but I'm thinking about it
It's there
because
if
that's
you.
only $3 and it's 3D. I am a fan of those Sega 3D games that they did their little virtual console. Like those games have all been real solid, and the 3D is great on them. Um, but yeah, it's kind of weird. There's a new Sonic theme and better rewards if you live in Japan.
Yeah, this just really rubs salt in the wounds. Because for 300 platinum points, you can get a set of 3 physical reward Breath of the Wild posters. 3 posters,
Only in
300
Japan.
platinum points.
Yeah. Now it was 300 platinum points plus you have to pay shipping and handling, which I don't know what that was for them to ship it to you. Which I was always amazed with Club Nintendo that they never charged you any kind of shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
But yeah, this is yeah. But this is platinum points, not even gold points. The platinum run of the mill, the ones you can get from a box of cereal.
That's right.
You're willing to play ball.
Oh well. By the way, I did
Didn't
open
you
my
try to
box of
redeem it?
cereal. Yes. You do not go to the My Nintendo site. You go to the Post Cereal. There's a special site for it. You have to give them your name, your birth date, an email address, your home mailing address.
Sign up for all kinds of junk mail and
then
spam email.
and then they'll send you an email eventually. Give you the points, which I have not redeemed, but I admit I have not looked. So
And did it say how many points that was? Was that 50?
it was 50.
100?
It was 50. So not as much as standing in line at an event, but
Yeah. Well, it'll all be worth it once you start getting your publisher's clearinghouse letters in the mail.
that's right.
Other stuff from them selling your identity to everybody in the world.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a bizarre little marketing thing. Nintendo I saw also has a holiday giveaway that they're doing right now where you can enter to win. It's like if you use their little holiday checklist and you pick 5 items that you want and submit which ones you want. They're giving away like Splatoon 2 bundles, which actually include the Splatoon 2 Pro controller.
Oh, that's sweet.
And there's giving away a couple Switches. I think the total prize is there's going to be 8 total winners, and it's like I think either four of them maybe get like Switches, and then a couple get 3DSs and some other stuff, and then some of them just get like a Monopoly game that's Nintendo themed, like a physical actual board game. Yeah, not Monopoly that just launched yesterday on Nintendo Switch.
Board version. Yeah, and
But hey, it's something.
As someone pointed out on Twitter, those 5 items that you choose are not the 5 items that you get. You get the
other. You get a predetermined prize product. Yeah,
that's right.
Which one of the items on the wish list was the SNES Classic. So,
has anyone filled it out yet?
I did.
I haven't.
You can count on us to do anything online right away.
That's right.
Because I need a second Switch. You know?
That's right.
Yep.
If it's free.
You've got one to take with you and one to leave at home.
Yeah. Then maybe I could play one handheld and one docked.
Play with yourself.
No.
Even that would be good.
Hey, I do that all the time. Hey, yeah. Yeah, I could set up multiplayer. I could finally play Snipper Clips 4-player.
That's right.
I think Snipper Clips actually goes up to 8 players.
You gotta buy some more Joy-Con.
I gotta buy some more friends.
True that.
I mean, if you like, just the whole idea of what are the chances anyone in the world has 8 friends or 7 friends that will all be at their house at the same time, and they've spent what, 250, $60 on extra Joy-Cons?
And they want to play this game.
Yeah. Or that your friends, I guess, or that at least half of those friends have their own Switch and bring them over, I guess, and want to play the game at the same time. Yeah. As awesome as it is that Nintendo really emphasizes and values local play, I sometimes wonder if they consider what exactly it would take to make this local play happen. Like it's almost just like a stunt that you and your friends are doing.
It is. You should be.
To
You
get
should
that many
record yourself. Document it well. This
Yeah.
happened.
Well, it's just like with like Splatoon 2 doing the is it the LAN play?
Yeah.
We can like not really daisy, I guess wirelessly daisy chain together 8 people. It's like I don't know that happens.
It does. It happens. People set up tournaments and
Yeah,
people
I
do
could see
come,
it like at PAX or something like that,
or they just have free tournaments that
oh
not
yeah,
associated with conventions is what I'm meaning.
oh really?
Yep.
I don't know if I've seen those. I I remember when Street Pass was a thing for 3DS. There were people on Facebook and stuff setting up like Street Pass groups.
Yeah, but you're going to a public place and walking by someone discreetly,
Yeah, it's
not having
amazing.
them to your house. I'm like, hey, bring your Joy-Cons.
That's true. Yeah, it's a little bit. You could play wireless in public.
Yeah, we
You could all meet
could.
at the library until they kick you out. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a rewarding experience at Nintendo as always. Um,
it truly is.
I think there's also a couple more wallpapers out there for you. There's some Mario Odyssey wallpapers. Um,
Woo.
Boy, it would have been a great promotion. I noticed the 3DS theme shop has a new Super Mario Odyssey. I've always thought it's weird that they do that. That they'll, like when Wii U games come out or now Switch games come out, and they're like, hey, here's a new 3DS theme for a Switch game.
It's almost
Uh,
like they're saying you've got a 3DS. Don't you wish you had a Switch?
Yeah.
yeah. And for $2 you can buy an advertisement for Super Mario Odyssey to
Yep.
have on your 3DS that plays One Up Superstar.
Oh no. That's,
The song that's sweeping the nation on iTunes.
Have you heard the one where
I,
Toad sings it?
I haven't.
Yeah,
wow.
you
Uh,
probably don't want to.
I think I've heard there's a Japanese version like with different lyrics that like you can set your in-game language to Japanese. People are pretty interested in that.
Cool.
I haven't heard it myself.
No, I try
It's
to
just
avoid
not
the song at all costs.
really. You're not into it? I
No.
noticed. I tried to see if it was on Spotify the other day, and I noticed that there's like 15 versions of it that are like cover versions that people have already put up. I'm
Wow.
like, wow, for whatever they must get, like a quarter of a fraction of a penny for every play that they get. They're like, let's cash in on this thing now. But none of them seem to be the official one. Um, but
Wow.
I don't know. I wonder how many of those they sold on
Um.
on on iTunes. It's like, well, I could just go to YouTube and listen to it for free. But I really
What
want to give my money to Nintendo for this promotional song that they wrote.
what would be the occasion for you to play it? Or you're like driving down the street and it's like, man, I
Yeah,
really gotta hear Jump Up Superstar.
it's like you got your sweet mix of video game music, and then at the very end, you're like, and this last one's got words. Yeah, I can't see too many. You're not gonna put it on a mixtape for your honey. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, slow jams, Mario jams. Um, I don't know. Like, I could see it ironically as like a ringtone, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like his look how funny I am. Um, but I think I actually heard the song itself as like 4 minutes long.
Wow.
Oh.
Luckily, the commercial is not, but I
Yeah.
think it's extended. But um, I think it does factor into the game itself, though. That it's not just. I thought it was just like a commercial thing, but the song is in the game, so you all have that to look forward to when you eventually play through it.
And the lyrics are on the inside cover if you buy the physical version.
Right.
So you
Right.
can sing along too.
Yeah. See, I was thinking today that's a good game to have a physical version of, because that's one that you'll probably play and then never play again. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, that's one that's okay for the card slot. Whereas I've kind of regretted not picking up Splatoon 2 digitally, which I should have known better. Because
Since
that's one. Oh, I'm sorry. Go.
I was going to say, since this is such a hit song that they're selling on iTunes, I know that Mario recently made an appearance in the latest Just Dance game. Is this song in Just Dance? That's what I want to know.
Ooh,
Good
I
question.
don't know.
That would be
It's
interesting.
it's funny that Just Dance has now, in just 8 short months, gotten its second game released on Switch. They're really shooting themselves in the foot this time. Um, which also, by the way, I don't know if we talked about that last week. Just Dance 2018 out for Switch, Wii U, and still Wii. Um, so there's yet another physical Wii version.
If you
Somebody's
are,
out there playing it, I guess.
if you are listening to this podcast, if you are listening to the sound of my voice, and you are playing your Wii still to this day and buying these Just Dance games, please write into the show. We
Yes.
would love to hear from
Yeah.
you.
Even if you got 2017, really.
Yeah, 2017 is perfectly acceptable. We would
Like,
love to hear about your gaming experiences.
Yeah.
yeah,
Why you like the game so much?
the thing is, they had to have sold enough of 2017 to be like, are we going to make 2018? Or maybe they just do it as free promotion for themselves. Like, hey, I bet if we put this out on Wii, people will talk about it. They'll be like, can you believe they're still putting this out on Wii? Like, maybe
Well,
it's a viral marketing campaign. Because every year I hear that. Every year Just Dance comes out. That's a news story that you'll see on some site. It's like, Just Dance, there's a new game coming out for Wii. You guessed it, it's Just Dance again. Um, yeah, there must be some sort of hardcore, dedicated group of people that are like, no, the Wii is the only way to play it. It's like those melee players for Smash that had to have the GameCube controller.
Now I'm curious. Can you go down to a Best Buy or GameStop? Is it going to be there on the shelf? Not just arrived and it's a
Oh,
Wii game?
somebody, I think, I don't remember if it was one of our friends or no, I guess it was, or maybe that was, I don't know, maybe you retweeted. I think it was somebody on Twitter had a picture where they were holding all three copies of the game fanned out. So they must have had it. Although I think Best Buy still carries some Wii stuff. I don't know if Toys R Us still carries some Wii stuff. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, like pretty sure GameStop doesn't have a dedicated Wii section.
They might
They
have had
probably
to
don't
order
even
it
have a Wii U
online.
section. Yeah, but you could do it. You can order it. Yeah, then you'll have to. You probably just order it online because boy, wouldn't it be sad to be the person who has to go in. Like, I'm looking for Just Dance 2018 on Wii. Not to
Yeah,
discourage anyone. If you're out there, we want to hear from you. You're not sad. I'm talking about some other guy who's sad. You're not sad. We want to
we
hear
love
from
you.
you.
No, we don't think
Yeah,
it's sad. We're really curious. We
yeah,
find it very
yeah. It
interesting.
is. It is interesting. Like I said, I remember there being a kid when I went into Best Buy that looked at Just Dance. I think it was for Wii U. It was just like, I need this game, and I'm like, oh my god, somebody's out there like that. Like, because it's not in my field of vision, I don't understand the Just Dance thing. Like, I even downloaded the demo because I wanted to get to the bottom of this,
Uh-huh.
and I could not enjoy it. I was just like, I guess this is a thing, but I mean, I know it's a phenomenon, and there must be people out there for them to keep putting it out. Like, that's a game series I did not expect to go as long as it has.
No.
I wonder how long it has went.
I mean, long after Guitar Hero has kind of died off,
Yep.
people are still just dancing. But it's gotta have a limited thing because it's motion based. I
Right.
don't know. I guess is Xbox still doing? I guess they are still doing their Connect thing, aren't they?
Yeah,
And PlayStation has some sort of version of it.
yeah, they do. I can't remember what it's called now.
The little wands or whatever. Are they still doing the wand thing with the glow balls at the end of them?
I think so.
I remember seeing those. Maybe they'll do Just Dance virtual reality soon,
There you go. Well, that would be
where
fun.
That might
you
be
can
interesting.
actually dance, oh, like
So,
like
I
you
have to
do.
ask, since you played the demo, did you actually play the demo or did you just download it and watch the demo?
Um, I mean, I put it in. I downloaded it. I tried to see if I could figure. I did not perform very well. I did it sitting down, but it's basically just has you move your arm and move your arm and then move another arm. Um, I couldn't figure it out, but it's one of those things that there's somebody out there who's just like, give me that, watch this, and like just nails everything.
Yep.
Um,
And
but I don't know. Maybe the Joy-Con just aren't responsive enough to pick up the motion control. I know there were some people that had complained about like with Mario Odyssey, like trying to get the hat to do what they want it to do, like and it just not quite being as smooth as it should be. So maybe it was an issue with the Joy-Con, or maybe I just can't dance. But it's out there for Wii.
yeah, I downloaded it too, but I didn't play it because I tried, but you can't do it in handheld.
Oh, look at that. Hmm.
It
Yeah,
doesn't work. It's not fully functional.
well, that's true. So I can't play Voez. I think you can't play Just Dance. Oh well. Um,
You could in
or I guess I
tabletop
can.
mode though, and that
That's
would still
true.
technically be handheld. We
That's
will
true.
allow it.
Yeah, they did lump those together, handheld tabletop. I don't see there being a lot of people playing tabletop. Although I will say, I believe I have played more in tabletop than I have in handheld. So I'm in an interesting, like I said, a lot of times I will set it up on my little stand and play it with a pro controller. Like if I want to watch Netflix on my TV or something and still play the Switch,
Mhm.
I'll set it up. I'll set it up in tabletop, and I've got the little Hori stand, and then I'll use my pro controller as the controller, and just leave the Joy-Con attached to it.
Hmm.
So I'm just using it as a screen. But I would admit that I'm probably in the minority there.
Still, it's pretty cool. We have a console that we can all play differently and still
Yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah,
Yeah, and we can all play the same games.
That's
yeah,
part of Nintendo's secret
Yeah,
sauce, as Reggie
yeah,
says.
yeah. And still be competitive. We can play Splatoon together in
We can,
multiple different ways and still kind of still do well performance wise in both modes.
I think what you're trying to say is have a legitimate competitive gaming
Have a
experience.
legitimate competitive gaming experience.
So,
Um, Man, I don't think the public at large picked up on that quote, or maybe missed that quote. Man, I love that quote,
that's some
and I'm sure
brilliant,
there's
Reggie. I want a shirt
sure
with
there's more Reggie to come.
that's one like Reggie's face on a shirt that says that. Just maybe a smaller
Yeah,
one.
he sells everything so well. Um, Reggie, there was uh there was that other little news story that I don't think we touched on about uh oh man, I lost it. Well, Reggie, the backing up your saves,
Oh, that's right.
um,
oh, yeah.
which
I
which
think they're
just
working
more,
on.
yeah, just more Reggie basically trying to explain. Um, we talked a little bit before we started podcasting tonight, and I feel like nobody has the guts to ask the hard hitting questions. So when they ask Reggie about the Switch and like, why can't we back up our saves? And he's telling you how he's the everyman, and he's got he's got 120 shrines in on Breath of the Wild. He's got like half the Korok seeds in the game. He's just as scared as you are about losing his data. And certainly Nintendo, being the consumer oriented company that they are, they're gonna work on it. We're working on it. What you don't understand is this type of platform. It's something that's not always connected to the internet. Sometimes it's in your bag. Sometimes it's in a dock. Um, it's really hard to figure out how to do this. I mean, nobody's ever tried to get save data to save on a system that could be a portable and a home system. It's not as complex or it's not as simple as everyone makes it out to be. Um, Unfortunately, the reviewer does not, or the not reviewer, the interviewer was not able to pull out the question of, well, what about just saving it to an SD card? Because I would have liked that to have been a follow-up question, but um, it seems like cloud saves or an SD card would both work. Uh, Perhaps even though Nintendo likes to do everything with a Nintendo twist, perhaps they could maybe look at some of their competitors and see what they're doing to solve this problem, and if maybe some of that could be for the Switch. I know they don't want to be a copycat or anything.
No.
Um, that's the Nintendo twist, is that you cannot back up your save data. So, it's I'm sure there's horror stories out there already.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've just in the last software update added the ability to transfer uh, to systems, because I'm hoping that the reason that they did that is because when people were sending in their Switches for repair, they were losing their save data if they replaced the system. So now at least they have an option, possibly, to transfer your save data and your system and all that stuff over to a new system when they ship it to you, because that scared me off from sending mine in for repair. The
I
fact
would
that,
imagine.
like, yeah, I could send it away and lose all of my Breath of the Wild data, all my Splatoon data. And I'm sure somebody's out there is going to have one that's just a dud and just dies off and goes black screen, and um, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the question that's never going to stop being asked, is why can't we just back up our save data? Like, it's not even a thought on any other system.
No.
Like, it's just, that's one of the things that people take for granted. Like you said, there's um, so much stuff that I feel like people who haven't been in the Nintendo environment are going to be coming over here, getting this new system for Christmas that's successful, and being like, "You mean there's no Netflix here? I can't. My save data is lost," which you probably don't even know. It's like you probably don't find that out until your system takes a crap.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, I just lost all that data. It's not. It's why isn't it on my SD card?" Um, but yeah, that's Reggie being Reggie. Because of the type of platform we have, it's something that is on the go as well as connected in the home environment. There's some added complications. It's not as simple as a piece of hardware that never moves and is always connected in an online environment. You dolt. How dare you ask me that? It's not as simple as you think it is. This is very complex hardware. And
That's right.
nobody that works at our company has found a way yet to get save data from the system to any other medium.
I mean,
Like,
there's nothing like a smartphone that, you might leave your house and not always be connected
yeah,
to your home internet connection.
that's true. You notice how when you take pictures on your cell phone and then you want to put them on your computer, you can't, because there's no way. They're two different things, and your phone goes everywhere with you.
That's right.
Uh,
They're not at the house at the same
it's
time.
like it's like he's a denier. It's like The thing, I don't even know why they should just tell people you're not allowed to ask about save data. Like rather than try to make up some sort of thing. But I'm happy to know that they say that they are aware of the concern and that they are a consumer-oriented company and they want to make consumers happy. So they're going to continue to work on doing something in that area to alleviate some of these consumer fears of having a content-based issue. Like, I would never in a million years put together the words content-based issue as a way to soften the blow of losing all your data.
That's right.
My Switch broke. I lost all my data. No, my friend, you're just having some content-based issues. Yeah, Reggie's the master. They should just give him like a monthly hour-long show where he can just take questions from the audience and dance around.
Not answer them.
Yeah,
I
and
hope
that's what he does best.
if I ever have the chance to meet Reggie in person, I hope that I have some kind of hard drilling question I can ask him just
It'd
to
be
see a
so great, wouldn't it?
performance. Yes.
God, could you? Reggie needs to do one of those Reddit Ask Me Anythings.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel bad for the guy because obviously he didn't make the system. He doesn't know personally how to make the system save.
Nope.
Certainly, he's aware it could be done on an SD card or on the cloud. I mean, the SD card, they don't even. What are they losing? Like, I don't know what their fear is. Like, I don't understand why that's not something that they couldn't just easily knock out.
You can even buy Nintendo branded SD cards now,
That's
so
right.
why not?
Yeah.
What if they made it so you could only back up your data on a Nintendo branded card?
Whoa, that would just be
Like,
cool.
make some sort of proprietary thing. Mo money, but they could do it.
It's
I
certainly
mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo. And I feel bad that the guy has to kind of be the public face that goes out there and has to just pretend like the the lies that he says are just so charming when they come from him.
they're so well thought out and quotable.
It does seem like that. Like, it seems like somebody's like, okay, what are you gonna do when they ask you about the saves? Like, he's got a response for everything, but that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
He stands in front of a mirror,
I
Practicing.
think he does.
gaming experience.
Like a sim practicing speech. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
He's got those hand movements. He
I
touches his
know.
fingers together and it's like mind control.
I mean, he's definitely a right guy for the job type.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know who is answering questions before him, in Nintendo, but I have a feeling that Nintendo is never doing as many things wrong as they have during the reign of Reggie. So, it's tough. It's tough to modernize a console or a company, I guess. But hopefully, some of these extra dollars come in over Christmas will put them over the top to figure out how to transfer some data that basically is probably kilobytes onto an SD card. That'd be nice. Do we have anything else?
What if they only
Oh,
allow
sorry.
the backups through the Nintendo paid online service?
That would be another thing. Maybe that's the Nintendo twist.
That might be
Is
the
that
twist.
because I mean, if they did cloud saves, I could see that you'd have to be subscribed to the Nintendo Cloud service. Maybe they could do it like the Pokebank, just have your save data bank where you pay an extra subscription over a year, and every year you have to renew it if you want to keep your save data on file.
Wow.
There's so many ways. Take these ideas, Nintendo. They're great. You're gonna get rich.
Yes.
Save data subscription.
Save data subscription. That has a nice ring to it.
It really does. It's it's all more details to come. You'll see. Next year we're going to talk about it. I hope that next year when they finally get around to talking about stuff that they can actually be clear. I don't know why everything is always such a big secret at Nintendo.
Yeah.
They should just schedule their press conference now. I want to know when it's going to be.
I have
'Cause
this feeling.
I'm thinking January, but then I think, oh, it'll probably be like the end of January.
I'm thinking it would probably be January as well. And last January we had the huge Switch promotion, which is kind of where we come up with the idea for this podcast. That's what it stemmed
Yeah.
from. So, or rather, Mo did. We just came along. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think good things ahead.
Maybe they'll try to get it going during the Q4, which I think goes up until March. That way, all the subscription money can kind of boost their Q4 numbers. just as the Switch did this year.
That's true.
Well,
Be interesting.
yeah. Did we? Was there any other big news this week that we missed that we glossed over?
I think we covered it all pretty thoroughly.
I think we did as well.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Oh yeah, and if you want to check us out, you can on Twitter, you can here on YouTube, and of course on Stitcher.
iTunes.
And iTunes.
Stitcher, iTunes, Twitter. We're everywhere.
That's
We're
right.
not on Facebook, but
Not
we don't
yet.
have faces.
Not yet. Working on that.
That's right.
Yeah,
We've got our top technical agent working on it.
that's true. We hear you. We're listening. More information to come.
If you have any questions,
That's
post
right.
them for us.
Yeah, we'd love to answer questions.
Yeah.
Your feedback is great. If you like the show, let us know.
And if you've got Just Dance for Wii
Please,
from the last 2 years,
please.
we would like to speak with you.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I've got.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Night.